Whoops. We should switch to the Terra Mystica layout. There we go. That's better, isn't it? We should also not show our own channel. There we go. That's also better. Okay, we sort of act like we know what we're doing in the streaming world. We are at rank 14 now, and we're queuing up for another game. Raphael's been playing a bunch lately, and I think he's one of the people that jumped back up ahead of us. Don't totally know. Nerdcube and Deep Finesse have been playing a bit lately. Nerdcube predictably is getting back up near the top. Hephaestus's up there too. Pretty usual names. We're not that far out, but we're not that close. Although we've also only played 22 games. I'm pretty sure a lot of the players up near the top are at a pace significantly ahead of that, which I think helps out a bit too. But we just gotta win against some strong opponents, keep playing, and we'll get there. We are in the queue right now, and we're apparently searching for only one more opponent, so that's good. Currently, nobody that noteworthy here, but that is fine. Things can always change. Hi, Loki. We're going to chew the bone right under us so that we can hear it. That's brilliant. Good planning. Good job. I should let people know I'm streaming. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so all of that. Terra Mystica wise, Fire 2 Open is tomorrow. There's another game on Saturday, which will be fun. We're still not playing yet for a little while. We're towards the back end, and I'm streaming one of the later games too with Deep Finesse, which should be fun. But yeah, tomorrow I plan to just watch again. As usual, I will be plenty talkative in the chat, I'm sure, and maybe I can continue making a bunch of bad calls like I did last time. Although, I don't know how many of my calls were bad last time. A couple. The Dwarves game did go better than I was thinking it was going to. A lot of other players' games did not happen like I expected, though, which changed the context of some of the Dwarves' moves, too. So, oh well, regardless, that was a good time. We'll see what happens here. Otherwise, I've just been peeking in at this this arena game. We got Nerdcube, who's up there in the ratings, and Raphael, who's quite good. And looks interesting. First team Swarmlings here. I mean, Nerdcube's already at 80-some points at the end of the round. He's also already shipped 3. It looks like he's planning to like dig a town up in here as his second town, which is a unique town spot, so that's cool. I'm expecting he will build a temple next round, probably. I'm not totally sure. He might go for a quick pass back onto the ship town, but regardless, I think he's winning this at 81 points and still has dig advances to go, and the track is in the way it is, and he probably does get another town. Oh, and he has 2 cult digs here. That seems pretty good, although he hasn't closed out a lot of these cults, so he needs to work on that, but it looks pretty good for him. Alchemists are having tough times getting their workers going. Raphael is doing good enough stuff, but like Raphael has town problems too, as Oren. But we'll see. So that's been an interesting one to peek at. I have a revolving game of St. Petersburg going on with some friends, so take our turn there because apparently it's our turn, although there's nothing to do here. Yeah, no need to take a move. Oof, that's good. That's good for him. It's a nice flip. Simon, our recent nemesis, is threatening to join this game. So We'll see if anybody shows up. St. Pete, yeah, we were just taking our turn in St. Pete real quick there, Cricks. I have a revolving game going with some of my WVC friends. I have an async game of St. Pete's going at all times. I have a async game of Puerto Rico going at all times too. The other fun news is I've decided to go crazy and I'm playing all Swarmlings in D2 of TM Tour. It's almost certainly wrong, but I've wanted to see if Swarmlings... I've been trying to convince people that Swarmlings are better ever since we've really learned and seen their power in the BGA meta, and so I went crazy and picked them in all my games, and we'll see how that goes. It's almost certainly wrong. It very well could get me relegated, but meh. We'll have fun with it. We'll see where it goes. We found some people pretty fast, but now we're not getting a last player, which is slightly sad, but I guess the upshot is Simon has claimed he'll join us any second, so we'll have a game then. Let's go back to peeking at how this one goes, I suppose. Chaos Magicians are fighting the cults hard now on Swarmlings, it looks like, which a lot of Chaos Magician players do that, right? I guess it looks pretty good for them still, but probably too much cult focus for them, but oh well. Nerdcube just has so many resources here as Swarmlands. I mean, I guess he has a decent bit of stuff still he wants to do, such as advanced dig and build, but this seems pretty good for him, but I don't know. What else is up recently? Not a lot. Just gonna keep streaming some Terra Mystica here as able. Watch that Fire 2 game. Next Monday, I do have that game scheduled with some other experts, so that'll be fun. Next Monday, around 7 Eastern or 7 Central, let me double check. I should actually know these things. 7 Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Time on Monday, this upcoming Monday, so a couple days from now, I'll have a good Terra Mystica stream with some experts, so that'll be fun. I think my game has started. Hey, my game has started, and so I should actually go over there. Look at that. Simon did join us. Boom, there we go. So based on the ratings, this is essentially a Simon versus us game. Amador is okay, and Slash I think is pretty bad. Slash really is a complete wild card. Amador is kind of a wild card. Thanks for chiming in there, Ghosty. I would have noticed soon enough, but it is always nice to actually see. So anyhow, the setup time. We have all passing tiles for scoring. We're missing 6 coins, 4 coins, and priest. That tends to mean it's kind of a coin-tight game. No priest and no cult step also mean that the cults are a bit more free than they otherwise would be. As for the cults, or as for the track itself, we have dwellings into trading post, big buildings, dwellings, temple, big buildings. So this track is not great for scoring though. You try to build a lot of your dwellings in round 1 and 4, which is fine, but it's hard to leverage these late rounds for a hell of a lot. Building a lot of trading posts in round 2 doesn't really work out for most factions. The cult track only offers 1 digging round, or only 1 cult spade, but there's the spade past house, so that's not too big a deal. Early power doesn't snowball as well. Sending priest to the cults is nice because it gets you extra coins, but these coins come very late. The main way to leverage these coins is to pay for your shipping in the final round, in my experience, or maybe some expensive big buildings. But it can be, these coins can come a bit late to really leverage effectively. So this is a game where it looks like producing your own coins is going to be good, building lots of dwellings early is good. Inherent scoring is going to be a bit good. Hitting past tiles will be good. Cult faction should be a little better. So with all of that in mind, we see Cultists. I think that makes a lot of sense. Giants, I don't think make a ton of sense. I think it's really hard to score points as Giants. This looks like a pretty good Swarmlings game. You aim for a sanctuary of swarmlings here. You build a dwelling or two, maybe. You hit the trading post event. You might build a dwelling or two. You might build this temple. I mean, it's actually not a great swarmlings track, but the pass tiles are all there for swarmlings. I don't hate witches either. When don't I like witches? I feel like I put witches in a lot. I feel like I put swarmlings in a lot on this map. Is there anything really funky we could do? I don't really think so. If this trading post and stronghold event were just a little later, I would kind of debate trying to play a tall engineers and throw them in. Although with giants, that's less exciting too. But yeah, I don't really have a great argument for doing anything else. And so I think I'm just gonna throw in swarms. Or do I want to try to do like a pure dwelling rush mermaids type thing? I've seen a lot of blue on this map, but I think we're going to get blue and green regardless of what I do. I'll throw in swarmlings. If it were round 6 trading post, I would said snap alkies. Now I'm only 90% sure it's alkies. Alkies aren't really good here, so it's quite late here. It might be one of your only interventions. Well, that's fair enough, Ghostly. Thanks for dropping in. If it weren't fire and ice, I'd say dwarves. Cash in, dig upgrade late with stronghold makes sense. Yeah, I agree with that too, Danny B, but some reason I almost never have games with mermaids on this map. Oh wow, let's just put mermaids in. Mermaids would have been interested here, but swarmlings are totally fine. Swarmlings kind of mess with giants. I realized it inadvertently because swarmlings might also take the big building tile. Which kind of messes with Giants' preferred tile. Giants would really like to start with the big building tile, but Giants could live with worker power. It's just really nice to get a worker as Giants so that you can build a dwelling when you do your stronghold dig. We see Engineers, which is an interesting pick. I said I kind of liked the Engineers game plan if some of the events were a bit later. I'm not really sure what the Engineers game plan is in this game. And Giants kind of make the Engineers game plan a little trickier, although the Engineers also make the Giants game plan a hell of a lot trickier, because Engineers are going to quite possibly like start here and threaten a lot of reds. Engineers might start like here too and threaten another red. So Engineers can also like start up in here too and threaten reds. So it's very messy for Engineers. I think this is a lot of big Cultists and Swarmlings game. Engineers are get to start with the spades. Swarmlings are going to start big building. Giants probably start worker power, which leaves Cultists starting with probably temp ship. So Cultists, you probably start here and here, and you consider doing like a dwelling rush opening even if things go. Although no priest production's sad then. Who's going to take double dig this game? It's hard to say. All of these factions could, especially with weaker players. Weaker players love as Giants to take it. We're expecting to see Giants, Cultists, Swarmlings. So the Leech party is going to be here. Engineers might have to start here just to be part of some early Leech. Yeah, I think Cultists are pretty good here. Simon is bidding Swarmlings. Swarmlings, I think, are pretty good here, but I think Cultists are still better. The reason I say Cultists are better is I think Cultists are going to naturally get cult steps. I think Cultists can make better use of dwellings into temple into big buildings, whereas I don't think Swarms can make as good a use of that. So I'm willing to pay about 6 to 7 more points to play Cultists than I am Swarmlings. And I think I'm willing to pay on the order of like 20 points to play Cultists over these guys. I'm not totally sure yet. Cultists can hurt Swarmlings on the cults. Yeah, I agree. That's part of the issue for Swarmlings here, but You think temp ship for Giants is a solid option as well as a first round pick? I'd choose that over worker power. So Denny B, I think that's fair. So one of my issues is that I kind of hate taking early worker power actions as Giants. One of my latest theories is that being forced to take the workers as Giants early is actually a really big bummer because you really want to use your early power to get coins and priests. Now, if you could just start with coins or priest pass tiles and then take worker power actions, it kind of works out. But this tile just reads 2 workers, which you really want, and 4 points, and then it frees you up to take whatever like power actions you want, and I think that's really valuable. But we see people already bidding a bit for engineers. I think that's probably wrong. I said I was willing to pay like up to 6-ish more points to play cultist, and I think that continues to be true. Although I do think swarmlings are still in for a pretty strong game, but I think cultists just start here and here. You're going to get to do the shipping stuff I talk about. I mean, maybe I should think a bit more about it. One of the big issues for cultists this game could be the neighbor issue. I always talk about how I never get neighbors on this map. But Giants should come up here, and cultists can maybe get a town through here. Cultists can maybe bridge town through this stuff. Cultists might late in the game get a town down through here. I could debate not even starting on this hex this game and just start down here by engineers, but I don't love that. Simon has joined us on Team Cultists is better. He's no longer bidding swarmlings, but he could just be reading what we're bidding and just trying to bid us down, but I don't really care. I'm pretty fine sticking with this, but I was thinking that too. Need the worker power action though. Yeah. You think Giants might be able to take both the workers and the coins. Yeah, I do agree with that too, right? And so I think I'm a little too sour on Giants when they have to take workers power actions early, and I probably shouldn't be quite as sad as I am, but it does make me a bit sad. But I agree, it's not actually that big of a deal, so we should start thinking about Giants at a certain point. One of the reasons we should think about it is, I guess it depends on who's playing swarmlings. If Simon is playing swarmlings, I'm not sure he's going to rush to dig this hex. I guess he probably will. But how many reds are Giants going to lose to engineers? Probably a hell of a lot. I should stop thinking about it. It's just Giants are going to get a hell of a lot of leech this game. And Giants might even get to do the like down the center thing. But I guess it could get ugly for Giants if Swarmlings does dig and Cultist digs and Engineers dig. Like Giants could get trapped in. And against mediocre players, they do tend to over-secure hexes. I'm not even sure spading is going to be the best for a lot of these guys, but I kind of expect to see it. I've been saying I'm willing to pay a lot to play Cultist here, and I think I still should be. I think there's a lot that could go good for Cultist still. The only big deal for Cultist is a relative lack of coins is going to cause a bit of issues, but I think I'm actually opening Fire 1 Cultist this game and saying screw Earth 1. Either I get Earth 1 in round 2 with a second temple, or Swarmlings take Earth 1 or Giants take Earth 1, but like there shouldn't be that much of an Earth 1 rush. So I think Fire 1 into a second temple looks pretty good for Cultists. So I think that's my ideal Cultist opening here. We're seeing engineers being bid a shit ton now, in my opinion. Like, I think engineers are okay, but there's no way they're that close to swarmlings. Wow. And these guys just bid engineers into oblivion, and then the real wild card is playing Giants, though, so that part is pretty terrifying. One dwelling is always going to go here. I'm pretty sure I'm sticking the other dwelling here still and just shipping. The only downside to that is starting here is maybe better, but this is pretty much always a starting spot. The big downside to not starting here is that I'm not sure when we're going to get here, and this is our connection hex. I don't know how we're going to connect otherwise. The only other real way to connect is to dig through this stuff and then through here and connect around, which is a possibility, but we're going to get to see everybody else's placements first, so that'll help a lot. I'm hoping we get temp ship, but I think worker power is okay. But I think my preferred opening is to open temple for Fire 1 and temp ship out 2 dwellings, probably on this hex and this hex. And then I think the plan... Wow, Giants didn't start here, and they might not start here. which also really throws off a lot of what I was thinking was going to happen. Maybe Giants will start here and here, but if Giants don't start here, that means that we do have like an open, like we might have just a sanctuary town in the center. Without, well, except we're not going to rush the red. Engineers might bust through the center because I'm not going to rush this. Yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't even think about it too hard. I should just wait to see where people are at. But this could get a bit messy. I am going to be curious what Giants take for. Giants might go for the temp shipping depending on the sort of player they are. If they go temp shipping, we get worker power. And then we upgrade here probably. Yeah, I don't know yet. I'm expecting to see Swarmlings here. But maybe he's debating going in here or going in here. But I was expecting to see Swarmlings just go here and here this game. But they do have interesting choices. We have 5 victory point edge on Swarmlings. Or by 5 victory point edge, I mean we're down 5 points to Swarmlings, but I think that's fine. I think Swarmlings are looking at a relatively low track value, whereas I think we can get a lot more value out of the track. Engineers predictably do go here, but this looks kind of bad for both of them. It's kind of bad for Giants because they can't expand to reds that rapidly unless they dig here and temp ship here and then dig here, which they might. Engineers go for this hex instead of this one, which is a bit interesting. I would have gone here as Engineers to try to beat Giants to this guy. This is definitely an inviting spot, and I've seen several Cultist players have quite a bit of success here, but it's so concerning on connection in my book. Whereas if I just temp ship over here, then I can single ship and dig in here later, which is definitely going to be what my instincts are going to tell me to go for, but we'll see. Giants not starting center is going to make me pretty sad in terms of leech. Engineers didn't start next to me either, which I was expecting. Currently, I have no neighbors actually, so if Giants don't join center, I mean Swarmlings maybe starts here and I go next to them still, but I might just be forced to go down here for leech and neighbors. But no, Swarmlings does go there. We'll be curious if Giants goes in the center. I've been expecting Giants in the center, but if they don't go center, it is also interesting. We're not necessarily going to get as many cult steps as I'd like early because a lot of the dwellings we're going to build during this first round aren't going to help us, which is also a limitation of what we're doing. But Amador is now saying he thinks Engineers were the wrong pick for him. I would agree with that. Bidding this many points for Engineers is just like almost certainly wrong. I think that was a huge trap. I don't even think Engineers are 10 points better than Giants, and I am super happy to pay only 6 points to be ahead of Engineers here. Now, I actually think Giants are looking a bit better than I thought they might, because Engineers I thought were going to beat them to their shred hex, but Giants do have like these hexes to leverage, because I don't think people are going to fight for them. Engineers not being here also means that Giants doesn't really have a threat on this run of stuff. So Giants potentially can actually skip the center and just try to dig there in the early rounds, and that might work. It looks like Swarmlings might get these hexes pretty easily too if Giants doesn't go center, but Giants does go center. Okay, so I think that's good for us. It's a little less leech than I was hoping for, but we could go next to Swarmlings here, knowing that we're going to get leech off of Swarmlings as well. This would give leech to Engineer. This might give us leech from Engineers though, which is nice, but this connection hex is so concerning to me always. So I think I am just going to start here. Plus, I think I might just get temp ship and go through this stuff. I don't know. I really like this. I really like these starting spots as Cultists, so I'm just going to stick with it. I think it's occasionally correct to go down here, but I don't really know when, and it doesn't really feel like a good time for it here to me, so. Yeah. I might beat Engies and Swarmlings without connection. I mean, I agree that I I could just drop connection, and even without connection, I might get some good network points, but it's not that guaranteed because Swarmlings can play a kind of networky game because they can connect given the starting locations. So engineers take worker power, which means they didn't take the spade, which is really wrong. But it means they're going for double dig. Not that I even understand where they're double digging. And now Simon is saying spade for cults or not. Yeah, I mean, if I get the spade, I would just... I mean, engineers have to be fighting for double dig with that play, but like Swarmlings could also now just take tempship. Well, God, they could. Yeah, I don't know. Swarmlings take the spade. Giants do get the big building tile, and then we're gonna get tempship. I was really hoping to get the spade there. That would have been like a stupidly good break. But honestly, Swarmlings getting the spade is also like a pretty stupidly good break. Engineers should never have taken that tile, in my opinion. People seem to really undervalue the spade when they're mediocre players, and I don't understand why. The spade is just the best tile, but oh well. We take tempship. Given that engineers do look like they're angling to double dig, I assume engineers are going to double dig this hex and come up towards us. I could be wrong, but I think I want to maximize my leech potential. Here is not a bad option though too, because Swarmlings might build next to us. I think it's more likely that Simon would be a jerk and decline us. Although actually, it's so hard to know because mediocre players sometimes also just crush your spirits. But I also think Giants have to dig their way out. They're probably going to take this hex from us, and I'm honestly going to let them. So I'm just going to upgrade here. I don't actually know what's correct here, though. It's a bit messy. If Swarmlings took the 2 worker, Giants would cry. Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted Swarmlings still to take the 2 workers and watch. I mean, Giants would take tempship at that point, I think, and it would be okay for them, but... I also would have loved us getting the spade, because I would be very happy just spading a hex, but... This is okay, too. We actually have the power to double dig, but again, the only sensible way that engineers opening tile makes sense to me is if they're double digging here. So I would expect that to happen, and they do, and they are coming up towards us as I predicted. So that's all good news to me. I'm gonna take single dig here and just build a dwelling because I really want to build 2 dwellings. I'm just templating for fire 1 anyhow. So yeah, I'm just gonna secure this. Just in case Swarmlings would take it. I don't think Swarmlings would take it, but I think it's really dangerous for me not to get out some dwelling production during this round like I want to. So I'm just going to do this. I actually maybe shouldn't have built that. I just realized. The reason for not building that is actually I might want to take a longer round here because the pass tiles still are pretty shitty for me. I don't like any of the pass tiles here. So if it comes back to me on the wheel, I'm gonna probably take the priest power action. Just so partly because so I can have a longer round. Swarmlings does block giants off of like their ideal expansion route, so that's good news to me. I suspect that means giants are gonna... Well, no, giants are probably gonna take our hex because I just expect that's the sort of thing. I was really hoping that engineers might come over and upgrade their temple next to us, but they're not, which is fine. I said I was gonna take the priest if it comes back. We're at 9 power tokens. I mean, it's gonna make our power really low, but I don't really think I need a power action next round. I mean, I would like coins, but this is okay. This potentially lets me send the first priest to air, which is also, I think, very valuable here. Yeah. Giants are going down the center, though, actually, which is really good for us that we upgraded here first. We're getting lots of extra leech here. Engineers are still going to build this. I'm guessing Giants are probably going to pass and take double dig. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that this player is the sort of Giants player that's going to double dig in order to reach hexes. I suspect they're not going to advance shipping early. I suspect they're not going to value coins actions highly because they're going to value saving their power for double dig. Which is, I mean, that's fine. I think the game plan for us has to be to try to have a big dwelling spree in round 4 with shipping. So we're going to need a lot of coins to make that happen. I don't think we're actually going to have quite the economy to really want to build a sanctuary this round. And I think we're going to try to save up to build a lot of dwellings in round 4. With double ship, we should be able to get here, and then through this stuff. We can maybe, dig these hexes or something too. I'm anticipating having a town up through here later in the game, although that might mess with Swarmlings a bit. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Is Loki chewing a bone? You thought I heard it? Yes, absolutely. He is quite brilliantly chewing right next to me, because why would he be anywhere else in the living room but right next to me? Which, I mean, whatever. I love the guy, obviously. But sometimes dogs make you wonder a little bit, because, yeah, he has so many other spots he could be, but he wants to be chewing loudly near the microphone. Brilliant times. Engineers take Earth 1, which is the wrong play. Engineers should be taking Earth 2 to help out their economy, but I mean, they're just kind of trying to greed points already, which isn't great. I was kind of waiting for engineers to come next to us to do this upgrade. I mean, it gives engineers another leech, but it gives another, like, guarantee. It gives another person that's likely to accept the power. So I think I'm going to keep waiting for them and just send this priest to air. There's a slight risk of doing that in that... actually, yeah, no, I should just build this dwelling. That's what I should do. I'm never going to have a neighbor on this dwelling, and I don't really have pressure on the other stuff. Anyhow, the reason I don't want to commit where the priest is going yet is I don't really want to send the priest to fire. I want to send the priest to air. But if I somehow get blocked from this 4 power event, then I probably do want to send the priest to fire. But I'm hoping to take temple for fire 1, plus get an accepted leech so that I'm up here. Then I plan to build a second temple next round here and hope Swarmlings accept a lot of the leech, which I think Swarmlings will accept the leech. It's still going to help fuel them to things. I'm assuming Swarmlings are trying to... They're going to build their... I mean, Swarmlings are probably going to build their temple here, and they're trying for a center stronghold sanctuary town in round 3, which I think is very strong and a great plan. And then Swarmlings actually do just need these hexes to form their second town. And then they could debate a third town up here, but I think we're going to head up through here and beat them to this stuff, but we'll see. Giants, as I said, I really don't know what they're going to do, but they do take coins. Okay, good. I mean, that's what they should do, but again, it's always hard to know. We are going to have a lot of power into next round, so if I can get a coins action, I'll be very happy. Again, the game is pretty coin tight because there's not coins in the pastiles. I would also love Swarmlings pastile, but I don't think it's that likely we're going to get it. It looks like engineers will get it because Swarmlings have an action here. And then engineers still have an action. And then Swarmlings will pass. Engineers are going to get the dig. Us getting the dig would have been ideal, but it's okay if we don't. We might have to settle for like 3 coins and like 2-ish points, though, which is not very good. So our pastile game isn't necessarily ideal here yet. But honestly, most of these pastiles just aren't good for us is the big issue. So... it's okay, that happens. We're going temple for fire 1. Fire 1 actually solves quite a few of our coin issues too, by the way. I mean, that is part of why I'm going fire 1 here. We do get the accepts as I was thinking. I didn't think we were going to get declined, but it's always hard to know when you're playing players. Some players have a real hesitancy to accept. For example, Slash did decline that. I'm guessing he's the sort of player that just doesn't accept 4 for 3s or something, but he might also have been declining us because he's already ready to just decline us. So I think I am happy I waited for the engineers to come next to us to help guarantee that, because that would have been sucky. But Fire 1 is going to be quite good for us. Building a second temple is very tempting this game because we want to send quite a few priests to cults to compete on cults, but we also want priests in order to pay for shipping advances. We are planning to advance ship twice for this round, and possibly advance ship 3 times and start making use of the ship tile. Ship 3 allows us to build, dwelling, 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 dwelling. Ship 3 allows us to already build dwelling and dwelling without needing this hex. So, like, there's just so many brown hexes we can reach. I'm pretty sure this is a town this game. This little track is going to be a town. I think a town's going to be up here. There's a possibility of a town in here. But one of the issues with a lot of these town locations is that I don't have very clear neighbors for the trading posts. So I think it's probably more likely I'm going to play a 2-town game this game, because I don't have the neighbors for a lot of this stuff. A lot of these dwellings I'm talking about building are never going to have neighbors, which is one of the downsides to playing Cultists this game, is that I'm not necessarily going to get that many accepted leeches. But I think I'll get just enough that it's going to work out. I'm still expecting Swarmlings to pass here. I don't really know what else they would do. But it looks like he's thinking about things. He could convert power to a worker just to get a temple. And maybe he prefers having a temple over a trading post here, which isn't actually the wildest thing. But if he takes another action, I'm pretty happy, because I think engineers have to pass. I think giants are likely to pass, although they don't have to. They took a worker's power action anyhow. I'd missed that. That's what they did with their last action. I would assume they're going to wait till next round to build a trading post, though. But if we get to pass for the spade, our game is that much better. It does take all of our workers next round in order to build our second temple, but I'm okay with that. But Swarmlings are passing, so that's fair. I would have liked them to do otherwise, but engineers get the spade now. Engineers build a trading post. So awkward. We could get the spade if we are willing to pass. Whoa, team. Engineers are definitely passing with their next move. Engineers are going to build a second temple here next round for Earth 2, presumably. The spade is very valuable, but the Priest to Air is also really valuable. But do Swarmlings open next round with Priest to Air if I let them? Oh, wait, Swarmlings don't have a Priest. What am I talking about? They didn't go for a temple. So I can pass and still get the first Priest to Air. How do I pass on that opportunity? I don't think there's any way for me to pass on that opportunity. We're earning 4 points from this cult track, so we convert a power to a coin, and then we pass for the spade. I mean, that's way too good for us. I can't pass that up. Anyhow, great. I did forget that engineers were at 3 dwellings, and the 3rd dwelling doesn't produce anything. But, like, delaying the trading post the next round just gets you 3 points, and the spade is so good. And now they lose the spade. Like, I would have definitely passed as engineers there. I think this upgrade is not very good. But, oh well. This game is going so wrong for me. I thought giants would pass. Yeah, this is... I see now why Simon is saying that was going to go so bad. He thought giants were going to pass and he was going to get the big building tile. If that is what he was waiting for, I think he should have done a 3 power to a worker conversion and built a temple. But oh well. Giants wind up passing for temp ship. Giants might be aiming for like this hex and building all this stuff, which looks really good for them. They might also be aiming for this hex and building that, which is fine, but we'll see. Should I convert 5 power 4 steps on air? Simon is threatening to beat us to the priest on air. To be fair, it does buy him a spade. So it's actually not the craziest thing for me that Swarmlings might 5 power priest air. But if he does that, then I just take a coins action and I'm also like about equally happy. So we'll see what he does. I don't think he's going to 5-power Priest, but who knows? I'm going to send a Priest to Air first action. I don't even fully know what else I'm going to do here. Having this Spade is kind of wild. Because it maybe should just go here, and maybe I should just... I could convert a Priest to a Worker this round, as ugly as that thought is, and I could just secure this Hex. I do kind of need this Hex or this Hex this game in order to connect, and Giants might be angling for this Hex, but Priest to Air is also super valuable, so our Giant's going to first action take this. I don't know the answer to that. Do we want to double dig this round? No. Did we want a coins action? Yes. I think I'm just going to convert a power to a coin to open us up to more leech. I think I'm still going to just secure this Priest spot. And then I'm going to debate a hell of a lot what I'm doing. Giants probably wanted Temp Ship. Getting Temp Ship plus rushing a ship town super strong. Yeah. Could also take Act 4 after Priest Air. So, yeah, Crooks, I mean, if I had got the coins this round, that would have been very tempting. I very much wanted to use my power on those, but this is okay. I'll just use some of this power this round a little bit slowly. It's possible that I'm going to use this power for another Priest, but I think since I'm planning another Temple, that's wrong, because I think I'm producing too many Priests. Giants are just linking up to make a town. That is very good for them. I'm very happy with that, but I think that means I get this Hex. Giants did not double dig, which is also a real credit to them, because I was saying that they were going to double dig, but thus far they've actually played a very solid game. They've taken a lot of what I would. I think they might be rushing for a Temple for Earth 1 now. So the other question is if we do want Earth 1 still, and I think the answer to that should be yes. So it got yoinked. That was my bad. Why not Act 3 now? Gives us the workers to build a dwelling and temple, or are we saving power for coins later? I'm kind of saving power for coins later, but I'm trying to predict exactly how much power I have. Because I agree. I could just take the workers so that I can build dwelling and temple this round, which is not a bad deal. Part of why I'm not yanking the workers right away, though, is because I'm not actually convinced who wants workers. I mean, maybe engineers, but I don't think they can afford to take workers. I think they're just going to build a temple for Earth 2. Wow, I'm wrong. They're going to build another trading post. Maybe they're still going to build another temple, but I was hoping the temple was next to us. Swarmlings take another priest. That makes sense to me. I don't know what track it's going on, but I don't really care. I also always have Priest of Fire for just like 1,000,000 power as an economic play, which I forgot about, but that's pretty good. It basically locks out Fire Cult because nobody else is going to contest it. But currently I need to be able to thread in another Priest to Air just in case Simon declines me. I think I'm just building a second temple here. I don't think Giants are going to take this Hex anymore. And if they do, it's kind of annoying if they do. Is it, though? Is it annoying? I don't think it is. Yeah, screw it. I'm not going to worry about it. Simon does accept. Good man. At this point, I actually don't really know where our cult steps go because, like, I don't really need more air steps, and air track I am expecting is going to get really messy. Giants are going to build here. I'm curious if it's a ship town or if it's the 2-key town. A lot of players like the 2-key town, but I don't really think it makes a lot of sense for Giants. But I think it's okay if he takes it, and he does. I'm actually pretty okay with Giants taking 2-key town here because I think we're still going to pretty easily beat him on a lot of cults. And even if we don't beat him, we're gonna get a lot of second places, and he's gonna have to throw his game away in order to win on cults rather than doing anything else good. It also means Swarmlings aren't getting the 2-key town, which means Swarmlings are gonna have a really hard time playing cult game, which I think is gonna mean that Swarmlings are gonna have a really hard time scoring points. All of which sounds just fine to me. Nobody is taking double dig yet this round, which is kind of wild, but I don't really want it. I want a temple for Earth 1 still. I don't really know what Giants' plan now is, though, because they still can threaten double dig, but I'm still reading them as just wanting to take temple for Earth 1. I thought engineers were going to temple for Earth 2. Like, they absolutely should. I mean, to be fair, engineers already should have had Earth 2 instead of Earth 1. Basically, engineers got what? They got 2 points thus far from Earth 1, and so they said a worker and a power was not worth 2 points, which is obviously wrong for engineers. It's just so good to have that extra worker production. If engineers had that extra worker production right now, they could build a temple and they could bridge and build a dwelling, and they could already have a town this round and leverage that, and like Earth 2 could have already propelled them to like a much better game. And so taking Earth 1 was like already a pretty big mistake for their game. Engineers are sending the priest to Earth. That's fine. We're going to take whatever 3 spot is left, and it's going to be fire. So we're just going to essentially lock up fire track eventually here. I'm going to build a temple for Earth 1, though, just because Swarmlings and Giants could be rushing Earth 1. I don't think Swarmlings want Earth 1 because they would have already taken it, but it's impossible to know what's going on for sure here. So yeah, this is fine. This is fine. I could maybe debate Sanctuary for Water 1 next round still, but actually the Sanctuary might just go here for this town. I'm not sure yet, but are we skipping Water 1 this game? I don't really see a great spot for it. Yeah, so the Water 1 play would be Sanctuary in this round. And it's possible I do that, but it probably means I have to get a coins power action in round. Actually, even then it's tough because I want to pay for shipping, right? So I don't know. Giants, interestingly enough, go for another trading post. Yeah, and now engineers take double dig to keep building out dwellings instead of getting another temple up. This is definitely wrong. Engineers should have a second temple up before we do, but they don't. The workers are still here. Simon did decline our second leech here, which is a bit sad, but it's understandable. But I think I might take the workers now. With double dig gone, I mean, Giants aren't going to take this hex. So I can take these workers, build a dwelling here. Our power level will be a bit low, but I'm going to send a priest to Earth yet this round, which gets us a hell of a lot of power back. Yeah, this is fine. These guys are maniacs to be declining power here. This is a pretty easy 3-town game for us. So I don't know about 3-town for us, Crix. One of the issues... Wow. Building another trading post is wrong. Giants are producing like no workers now. They're producing a ton of coins and power, so I mean that part is fun. But the fact they're producing so many coins and so much power means they might not be that much... They might not be trying that hard for coins power actions, which maybe means we get them. One of the issues is our economy and stuff is going pretty well, so we're passing last, so it's really hard to get coins actions. I think next round we potentially are going to have a quick round. I might skip the Sanctuary, and I probably will try to pass onto the ship scoring if nobody else takes it, and just leverage a huge ship scoring in round 4 while building a million dwellings and scoring a ton of points that way. But we'll see where we're at. 3 towns is tough for us, Crix, because I could definitely get a town here and a town here, but they both like potentially involve bridges, and then I could maybe get a town through here. but I also really want to leverage all of these free brown hexes if I'm going to ship a bunch. And if you fling all of your dwellings to the wrong spots, then it's really tough to upgrade to trading posts in the right locations to make towns. But we'll see. Nothing's been set in stone for us yet by any means. I'm curious what engineers pass for here. They might just take 3 power and 2 coins, which would make us a little sad, but they instead go for the workers, which makes a lot of sense. But that's a big block on Swarmlings. Swarmlings absolutely wanted to pass for that right now. Well, I guess not right now. Swarmlings had to go for a trading post, but Swarmlings almost certainly want to build their sanctuary next round. Swarmlings still want this hex, by the way, too, which they haven't locked up. Anyhow, Gray, responding to your earlier thing, Swarmlings declining the power is not that wild to me. I think it's wrong. I would still accept a 3 for 2. But if you think I'm your main competitor this game, which Simon should be thinking because these other 2 guys aren't very good, I don't think it's that wild to be declining us already. I don't know if it's what I would do, but I also don't think it's that wrong of a choice. We're going to see how much of Maniac's Giants are. My read is they're going to decline this, though, because they already have too much power and coins. So I think we're going to get a lot of declines this game. And we are getting declines, which sucks, but I mean, Giants took the 2 key towns, so one of the few ways they're going to beat us on cults is to deny us leech. And you know what? If we just get free power every time we build next to people and they're not getting power, that's still a pretty good win for us. But I really do want to build next engineers now because I think they're going to be my only friends. So building this town is increasingly warming up to me because these come with cult steps, whereas everything else I'm doing does not. I'm going to wind up cult digging this hex. And then this town is only 3 more digs. And I don't really need any other digs this game besides, I guess, this hex. I do need bridges, too. So I have a lot of needs. But I could take this bridge already this round. After I send Priest to fire, I'll have enough power. I could just take a bridge action. I'll think about it. I would also like to... Giants are passing right now, and then I think Swarmlings are going to pass. I mean, we're going to be last for any chance at a 7 coins action, so I think it's really unlikely we would get it. But we'll see. Looks like a cool town for Giants. I mean, yeah, that's true, actually. This maybe does belong on the cool town channel. I'm not sure. I'm curious what Swarmlings take here. All of this looks kind of crummy, but I think worker 3 power is best, and that is what they take. So the ship's tile is open. And the ship tile, I mean the ship scoring tile. I could take one of these 2 tiles, even though they don't do me much right now. And then I could take, I could pass onto this very quickly next round and plan to take a 7 coins action at the start of round 4 and advance ship a bunch and build a ton of dwellings, which is what I think I'm leaning towards doing. I should send Priest to fire here, lock up another spot. This should help me win this cult. The question is if I should use my power for a bridge. I think the answer is yes. I'm going to have bridge pressure this game. I am kind of at a problem for leech. I'm not going to get a hell of a lot more leech for a while, though. So the one problem is if I take a bridge, I have 2 usable power, and passing for that doesn't guarantee a coin's power action, but I probably can get there, right? I don't know. It's a little sketchy. But not taking the bridge here means I don't know when I'm going to get a bridge. And this is absolutely a bridge town. So probably should just get it out of the way. It's not clear who else wants bridges that bad, but engineers could always take them. So one option here is actually to take the temp ship just to get us some power so that we can pass quickly back onto this guy. The only reason to take this is that my next round could be build this dwelling and build a trading post. And building the trading post is purely just to generate a few more coins and stuff, which I don't hate. I'm going to take this guy. I think I'm going to wind up building one trading post. It's a bit risky, though, because I'm planning to take 2 actions and then pass, and that's probably too many. So maybe I should just take this guy, build 1 dwelling, and pass. Although, nobody's going to threaten this hex, so I don't even have to build this dwelling next round, right? Nobody's taking this hex on me. Nobody's shipping that much. Yeah, never mind. Okay, this is fine. I don't have to take a build action. I can build just a trading post and pass. Giants need the Swarmlings landscape. Stronghold plus 4 trading posts plus 2 temple. Make it happen, Giants person. Yeah. Loki best TM commentary. Did you hear his grumbling? Cheesehead Loki emote when? Yeah, I need to work on emotes. How do I emote? I haven't figured it out. I haven't learned. Sanctuary incoming for engineers means that they skipped on... they've completely ignored double towning, and they've completely ignored taking Earth 2. I mean, their economy is just awful. This is concerning to me in that it's not clear that they have another action after doing this besides building a town, and I don't know if I can trust them to build a town or build a dwelling. I mean, they take Air 1 to leverage their trading post they've already built, and they... Yeah, God, this is scary. If engineers pass for our ship tile, that really messes with our game plan. Giants are at full power here, have no workers. Oh boy, their economy is so out of whack. They take a priest. I'm assuming it's going to be ship. I don't even know what Simon's going to do with all of his power either. Giants are going to like 100% decline our trading post again because it's just what they're going to do. If we had coins this game, we could think about Sanctuary for Water 1, but we don't have coins, and we want to pay for ship advances next round and dwellings. I mean, it's a little bit messy. 3 coins, 3 power. Oh, so good. Swarmlings take a double dig, so we are getting some much needed leech. Swarmlings are going to get a town this round. We are kind of bad in the points department, but I think I build the trading post here now. I hope engineers don't pass. If engineers pass, I just curse it out. We get a decline. I'm assuming Simon's get a decline as well, because, yeah. I mean, it's a free power, but why give us cult steps seems to be the attitude, so. I should go for second place, right? I mean, that's up to Simon. So Simon's, like, if Simon's accepted that we're already going to win this game, then he may as well accept these, but I'm not sure that's what he's going to do. He did accept. Okay, yeah, he's maybe half saying that we're just going to win. I'm not sure. Going up the air track doesn't really do us much, but it might help us eventually win. Nobody else has contested it, so may as well do it. I think I made the wrong choice. Yeah, I mean, Amador, I think he made a lot of wrong choices. I hope Amador's going to build, but he really might not build because he might just be trying to build all of his dwellings next round. Hopefully he takes the spade over the ship tile then, if that's what he does decide to do. But yeah, I don't know. The build is just -2 points. Yeah, I mean, so building the dwelling is technically -2 points, but, oh, I see, because it doesn't even provide worker income. Oh, yeah, weird. Oh, but he does it anyhow. Okay, well, we got lucky, but thank you, Jonesig. Oh. What is this? Intrigue. Collected workers, advanced on the ship track for Giants. Giants do have shipping now. I assume it's to go through these hexes. I think we're going to pass. We're making 1 power. We're going to get 2 more. We want to be open for conversions, but we don't want to burn. So if we convert 2 power here, we're going to get... Oh, not enough back, actually. We can't do that. We just convert 1 power to coin, and then we can earn 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and we get onto our tile. We get to take a 7 coins action that we really need. And we have plenty of workers to do some stuff next round. Oh, wait a sec. Coins are here right now. Wait just 1 sec, everybody. How greedy can we get? Do we just freaking take coins now? We might lose the ship tile then, but maybe engineers do something with their priest. Giants and Swarmlings definitely have moves. Is there any world in which engineers want the ship tile instead of the spade? How bad for us is it if we don't get the ship tile next round? I mean, we'll get the ship tile in the future. Part of the reason the ship tile is so good, though, is there's 3 coins, 3 power on it. Yeah, we just take the coins next round and it's fine. I don't want to lose this pass tile. 3 coins, 3 power, plus at least 6 points is a great deal. Perfect for this channel. Yeah, I should definitely muck about with custom emotes and stuff. I don't really know how to do emote things, but yeah. It's not like I'm getting the coins action again next round. Yeah, so that's exactly why I decided not to, Gray. I kind of sat there thinking, like, if I use all my power for coins now, is there any world in which I get to pass onto this tile and take a coins action again next round? And I think that was incredibly unlikely. And by unlikely, I think it was just impossible. So I think passing and locking this up is very good for us. We still have a slight points issue here, but we have a pretty good economy of making 2 priests, a good number of workers, coins. We got some good cult rewards here. We're going to have some good coins right at the end, too. This trading post is actually doing a decent bit of work for us and just making a few more coins. Fire 1 is going to do quite a bit of work for us. We're going to get to build so many dwellings next round. Again, the only big issue is they're not really going to have neighbors, a lot of them. I mean, we're going to build one here, which will have a neighbor. But I think this might be our only neighbor next round for building. Because otherwise we're going to build like here, 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 here. I would maybe get here, but I don't really know how I'm going to get here. I think I'm going to just town. It might just be 2 towns. I mean, we might still get 3 towns. I guess let's figure it out, right? I think the most likely game plan for us involves eventually building Sanctuary and Stronghold, probably both in the final round if we're able to. We're probably not building another temple, to be honest. So if we do that, there maybe is a world where we end this game with just 2 temples left on our board and everything else built, so we'd have 15 structures, but I don't know if we're actually at that high of an economy, so let's call it somehow we get to 14 structures. Maybe we skip the stronghold. So 14 structures allows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It only allows us to fling 2 dwellings to random locations, so we could build 1 here and 1 here, but if we build any more, it makes the 3 town life really rough. But I guess we could build this dwelling, this dwelling, this dwelling, this dwelling, and we could hold back on this one if it's maybe worth it. One of our big difficulties is that we don't have a good spot to build trading posts unless we're building them down here, because this is where we would like the trading post to be for town purposes. So how many workers do we have next round? We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So with 9 workers, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we could blow 4 workers to hard dig and build, which isn't that bad of a thing. The main downside to doing that is how are we ever going to generate enough workers to build all these trading posts, backfill all the dwellings, and build our big buildings? If we're going to have like no workers at the end of this round, we'd have maybe 16 workers for the rest of the game, but 8 of them are that. But I guess only a couple of them would have to be. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we make it work because we can use some priests as workers potentially still this game. I mean, we want to send a few more priests to the cult tracks, but I kind of am just trying to win air and fire this game, I think, is a lot of the goal. I mean, maybe get like a second in earth, but I don't even think I'm contesting water at all this game. I think I'm letting Swarmlings just win that. Giants still have no temple, so I do think Giants Earth 2 is looking really bad. I think it's mostly just helping it make it harder for anybody else to really challenge us on cults. I did miss that Swarmlings built a town, and they took a priest town, so they didn't even take the 8-pointers, so the 8-pointers still exist. This leech I would normally gladly accept still, but I have to decline it here because I'm already producing 4 power, so this leech does us nothing. I maybe should have looked ahead to realize that was coming, but I think it's hard to know that Swarmlings weren't going to build this dwelling, so it's okay. Swarmlings have had real bad luck on the pass tiles here. Giants get a really late coins action, which is great though, and now Swarmlings can pass for the big buildings, so that's a really good break for Swarmlings because they really want that Stronghold Sanctuary tile. I'm pretty sure that's what they're about to pass for, but anyhow. What else do we get? Actually, never mind. The coins might not be that contested this game because everybody's economy is a disaster. I mean, yeah, to be fair, I might have been able to get the coins again, but I'm not convinced I would have got the past I want. Although it did look like engineers. I guess I should have realized engineers were going to send a priest to the cult track, but whatever. This is okay. I mean, I need a ton of coins. Like, I'm going to advance ship twice here and then build at least 4 dwellings. So, I mean, that's all my coins already. So I mean that's a bit tricky, but I don't think I really have to rush for any of my hexes. The only hex that's mildly under contention is this one, in case Swarmlings would want to double dig this rather than just doing other good things, and I think that's really unlikely. Swarmlings also have 1 million priests now, so the cults, I mean, we do want to send some priests to the cults, and we can send some priests to the cults because we're just going to ship twice. Giants are starting to make a move. I think they're just trying to get to this hex, but this hex is actually under threat now. So I think I am going to have to hard dig this, and I think I should try to eke it out, but I do need to just take this hex now because Giants can reach this, and I don't want to see any funny business there. Crix, I still think the 3rd town is worth it because we want to find neighbors for trading posts. Yeah, so I do agree a lot with that the more I was thinking about it. And it just seems like we're going to get bottleneck one way or the other. Either we need to build a lot of expensive TPs or we need to dig a bit more. I think I agree with that. The more I kept looking at it all, I think that's absolutely true. Engineers are taking Giants' red hex away. Engineers and Giants are just killing each other this game largely, which, I mean, they're both doing a lot of questionable things. Engineers not having Earth 2, I think, is like always wrong. Engineers not having 2 temples up, I think, is often wrong. That second temple that produces 5 power is a lot of why engineers are really good. You get 2 early favor tiles. You get such good economy. Producing extra workers is really what engineers needs. But, oh well. I mean, they're doing interesting things, but they're also completely cut off network-wise. It just looks ugly for them, so... Swarmlings can get connection points this game. I agree. I mean, Swarmlings are by far my biggest competition because they're actually, a good player. Giants just keep taking priest power actions in order to contest cults, basically, I think. Or actually, it might be to advance ship again to reach this hex. I think I advance ship here and reach this hex is the next play. Yeah, that seems correct. There's not a lot of track points that we're going to earn anymore, so we do kind of want to try to hit the pastels pretty well. Our round here is essentially going to be just try to build trading posts. There is still a copy of Water 1, but our economy is just not humming enough to justify building a temple for Water 1 and then trying to build a bunch of trading posts after it. I don't think that's going to be a productive use of our time. I could be wrong. I'll have to think about it, but part of our difficulty this game is like we don't really have leech because understandably nobody's up through here. It's a bit sad nobody's kind of up here next to us, but yeah, I mean we really need to be down here if we wanted a lot more leech. So I am curious what engineers' plan is for their town, because the more I'm looking at the theory of trying to get this town, one of the difficulties is engineers probably want a town, but they don't have a 4th hex and they can't bridge to one. So engineers really don't like the brown and the black hexes, but they might double dig our yellow. So this town might not actually come to fruition, but I think we still have to try for it. Or do we? I don't know. It's tough because we don't have neighbors for most of our trading posts, but I can just fling the trading post to random ass places and not be that sad. I'm going to advance ship for now and build some other dwellings, and I'll debate about this hard dig. I mean, giants don't need this hex, and they can't reasonably take it, so it's really not under threat right this instant. And the second ship advance is pretty much necessary, given what we're up to. I don't think I'm going to send any priests to water, as I kind of talked about earlier. I think I might just send another priest to air, which kind of helps just lock out the track. I mean, our opponents are producing so few priests and can't send them to the tracks because they have to invest them in shipping that, I don't know, things still look pretty good for us. I mean, our opponents are figuring out points better than we are, but we're getting a lot of points this round. We're setting up economy. We should win network this game pretty handily. I mean, giants are somewhat contesting it, but they're the only real threats. And, well, I mean, their economy is not that messy. I mean, they went a lot of trading posts early, but, I mean, they're going to be able to get most of these dwellings out this game probably. So, I mean, they're still going to get to a pretty good network. They're really running out of red hexes, though. Swarm or engineers probably beat them to this hex. And then giants are going to probably beat us to this hex. Giants might even take this hex because they're going to be at 2 shipping and they're going to be sitting here. And so if we take this, they might try to take this next round. So I'm not sure this town is actually going to happen because we're a bit slow in getting to it. But I don't know yet. Gonna build over here. This at least has neighbors. We'll see what sort of leech we might get. I would assume engineers can't take it. Oh, that was such a blunder by me. Yeah, that was so bad. I forgot engineers were at full, so they couldn't accept it. That was really sloppy, guys. I usually, I don't always think to look for that. I'm sure everybody's made that mistake, but it always sucks because I'm pretty sure engineers would accept free power from us if we had given it to them. And I would rather have the cult step than the power here, but oh well. Ugh, costing ourselves a bit there, though. That was bad. Although, to be fair, one should also question why engineers are at full power and haven't left themselves open to more, but I guess we don't ask those sorts of questions. Is probably the best policy. Passing for the dwelling tile would be the best case scenario for us, but I don't think there's any world in which we get it. I'm pretty sure engineers take it right here. So I think the actual best case scenario is somehow we get giants tile. But I don't know if we're going to be in position to pass for giants tile, which means we might not really get a pass tile, which is going to be a bit of an issue. Because we do have problems in the whole points department. We should make a town through here this game, almost certainly, which does still mean we need this bridge and this hex. So this is 1 spade. This is 2, 3, 4 spades that we have to generate if we're going to 3 town. I'm starting to think that this is not actually going to be a town yet this game. But I do think I'm still going to wind up building this dwelling. Engineers can only produce 2 power, so I think there's a good chance they're going to decline us even if we build next to them. All the declines this game are kind of adding up to slow us down for sure. It's a bit wild to me that people are declining us this hard, but oh well. It's not actually hurt us that bad. We got the critical steps that we needed to really hit the early cult rewards, and the later cult rewards here are just garbage anyhow, so I mean, priests aren't that bad, but like since we're producing multiple priests, they're pretty bad. I mean, even swarmlings here have way too many priests too. I mean, swarmlings are starting to go up earth. Makes a lot of sense, I think. I think the earth track's also very open. I think I'm basically just going to try to win fire and air and let swarmlings win these 2 cults is kind of where I'm going to wind up. And I'm going to just try to get like seconds and thirds in these cults. The 8-point towns, I think, are still really good for us. I might send a priest to earth here, actually, I guess, just because there's not a lot of fighting here. I can send priest to air, priest to earth this round. But we'll see. You don't get the swarmlings taking priest over 8-point town. Yeah, I think swarmlings taking priest was a big mistake. I think 8-point town was so much better for them. They have so many priests that they don't need more priests on their towns, and giving up 1 point on their town for 4 cult steps looks really good, especially like it looks like second and third places are going to come quite cheaply on a lot of these cults because like giants just aren't sending more priests away and stuff. So, oh well. Giants are going to pass really soon, and they have the tile I kind of want, but Swarmlings are just going to get that tile. So I'm basically just not going to get a pass tile is what I have to accept because I have way too many good, like I need to build these dwellings. There are way too many points to pass on. I think engineers are going to just decline us. I don't think there's any way around that. I am going to build this dwelling still this round. And then I think I don't know if I should hard dig. Hard digging this dwelling is like basically trying to say like, hey, I'm going to try to make this town, but I just don't think this town is worth it. I don't think I can make it happen. I think it's just too much effort. Swarmlings do send another priest to Earth. This is my signal to send another priest to Earth because this last priest to Earth basically means I should get pretty good cult rewards unless giants or engineers are going to do silly things like take Earth 3, which, you know, they might do with temples next round, but if they're going to throw their game that hard, whatever, and like us sending a priest is still not that big of a deal to us. And I just, water cults really doesn't interest me at all. I think there's better chances that something happens for us on Earth cult, so. Giants are passing, like I said. Swarmlings are going to wind up taking their tile. Swarmlings have a really good game in terms of the pass tile setup. I mean, they passed for 11 here. They're going to pass for 12 next round. They still have some more advanced digging to do. They still have another town they're going to get. So all of that's quite good for them. It does look like we're going to get the spade pass tile as our best option on the pass here because the big building doesn't do us anything. So the fact that we're getting a spade pass tile maybe means I should go back to reconsidering if we can make the other town work. But yikes, it's a bit tricky, especially if engineers are going to wind up double digging us. But I guess even if we just take these hexes, this is still just 2 digs for 3 hexes. And it gives me neighbors, and it should give me leech. Engineers should start accepting next round when we build next to them. So even if it just winds up at that, it's probably worth it. So not having 2 temple engies is so weird. Yeah, why did you do it? That would be my question, but we could pass here in front of Swarmlings, but I just don't think it makes any sense for us to pass when we have 4 victory point dwellings we could be building that provides us much needed worker income. I mean, we are solving a lot of our points problem this round. We're going to catch up pretty nicely, and then we're still set up to score a lot in the final round. I feel like I stumbled into this game. Yeah, I mean, engineers definitely stumbled around here. I mean, they're at the points lead, but I'm not worried. Actually, they're not at the points lead. Swarmlings are by far our biggest problem here. They're still having a pretty good Swarmlings game. The pass tiles are really working out for them now. I think they're probably going to beat us. We can debate how fast of a round we can have again next round and try to pass on to big building or ship again. Either is quite good for us. I want to send a priest to Earth, I said. I want to send a priest to Air. I want to build this dwelling. If I convert power to coins and build this dwelling, I think it's fine. We're not going to have a lot of coins again next round, which is going to be a problem. We don't have good leech either. It's going to be pretty hard for us to build. Oh, well, except we have a ton of coins coming in. This is going to be a huge saving grace for us. But I really do think we have to 2-town this game. I think 3 towns is probably too hard. Or maybe we have to skip the stronghold in order to get the 3rd town. But the stronghold is basically the same thing, so. If we burn a power here, we can never double dig again. But we might want to double dig again. So do I want to convert a worker to a coin just to build another dwelling? I think that sounds pretty bad too. How bad does never double digging look? Never double dig it again. I mean, we need a bridge. I just don't think we have enough oomph for this town. I think I should give it up. I just don't think I should go for it at all. I still have free dwellings down here if I just advance ship a third time, and then I can just use all these free hexes. I could still build a trading post here. I guess this is my only trading post location is the downside. Maybe I can get away with a really low trading post game though. Why do I need to build trading posts this game, really? I don't really have to build that many to fight network. Yeah, screw it. I don't need to build trading posts to score well this game. They never score on the track. I only need to build them to just free up slightly more network. Yeah, let's go with that theory. I don't know if it's a great theory. I guess I'm getting the spade tile. I do keep forgetting that, so maybe I should have done this dig, but now I've already kind of committed to not making it work, so... And actually, I can use the spade here anyhow. What am I talking about? This is still fine. I would like to send one more priest to the cults this round, just to turn it into coins, but it's not that critical, so we'll see. What just happened? Engineers double dug there, so okay, it turns out engineers were going to leave our town alone, but I think the third town's too much, so I really think it was too much. It just looks way too hard to get it. I think not going for the third town means that we can comfortably just build a stronghold, and the stronghold is 12 points in the final round, so it's essentially a town itself. I think I can just win network this game without really having to fight for it. I do need a bridge, by the way, very badly. I would also love those coins, but there's no way I get the coins. Giants or Swarmlings will just take them. I do really want to pass onto the ship tile or the big building tile. So, I mean, I think the round is a lot of just build this dwelling, send a priest to a cult, maybe take the bridge if I get some leech, maybe build a trading post. But I want to pass pretty quickly. I mean, our opponents have a lot to do, but not getting one of these two pass tiles is pretty sad. I really don't want the trading post pass tile. I guess any of the other three are going to be okay, but denying the big building tile to the table seems pretty fun. Denying the ship to the table is, I think, good too. So I just build this dwelling, though, as the first action. Yeah, that seems fine. Bridge-wise, it doesn't really seem like there's a lot of pressure. It doesn't seem like engineers are going for a bridge town. I don't see where giants are getting another town. Swarmlings don't need a bridge either, but, I mean, people can just take a bridge to spite us. But currently they have no reason to spite us. I don't think we have to worry. I don't know if we're going to get much leech this round. I guess Swarmlings have to build next to us, so maybe I should make this a trading post just to maximize some leech when Swarmlings get around. Actually, if I build this, there's a chance I get 2 power. The question is if I'm willing to... I really don't want to burn down to 3 tokens. I'm willing to go down to 4 tokens for the bridge, but... I guess I can just pass first to take the bridge. I don't really need a coins action at the start of next round because I'm going to get so many cult coins, which really will help out. And I really just want to build Sanctuary next round. I probably just Sanctuary here for Air 1. I build the Stronghold here, and I build 1 expensive trading post. Maybe I just Fire 2. Fire 2 might just be cleaner. Or even Earth 3 yet, I guess, could be a play. I'm not sure. We'll see. Ultimately, it looks like we have pretty good cults. We have pretty good network. Giants' network is not that far off from ours, and we don't have any more dwellings. So we do have to actually build more dwellings. Giants finally got a tile, and they took water 1, even though they already built like all their things. Simon advanced dig, which means he's going to build his dwellings this round, I think. I should build another trading post. It frees up a dwelling. It also... just produces coins for us, and it doesn't even block worker economy. We do have a ton of workers. Maybe I should have been considering this more, but we do get an accept. We get to go up the earth track. It's good news. We now have the power to bridge, although I don't quite want to bridge yet. Engineers look like they're getting real close to passing, which is kind of a big sad because I kind of want to pass first, but I guess it doesn't really get me much to pass first. My instincts want to pass first to take a coin's power action, but like I just can't do that because I need a bridge still. So unless I can bridge and then pass first and still get coins, but I don't think that's actually a possibility for me. So the main reason I want to pass early is just to guarantee one of these good tiles. So I do still really want to make that happen. There's a chance that Giants are going to win network on us if we're not too careful, and we're being a little sloppy. I do still want to send a priest to a cult track, so I probably just send priest to... Maybe I do send a priest to water here. Especially if I'm going to take 8 victory point towns. Water does look pretty good. If I'm going to take fire too, I don't need, to send a priest to this track. I don't really need to send a priest to air track. All this looks pretty locked up with our opponents not having much. Giants are taking another favor tile here. I'm guessing it's air 1. But we'll see. If they take air 1, the air 1s are actually out. So our theory of sanctuary for air 1 will die, and we will just take fire 2, which is totally fine. If we're not going to get a coin's power action, we could debate just passing for the big building tile here and just taking the bridge at the start of next round. Wow, they take air 3. So they're that type of player, huh? Why would they take a guaranteed, 6 or 7 points when they could take a God knows how many points? So the math just changed. It might be... Nah, why am I sending this off? Who cares? Giants are not getting another town. If they want to beat us on this track, they have to send a priest to this track and take air 2 or something. And I probably can just sanctuary for air 1 and a... Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I'm not actually gonna respond to that. I'm not going to worry about Giants beating us. If that's what happens, so be it. It looks like we're getting our leech. Excellent. We can take our bridge now and just be done with the bridge. I will pass now, I think. Well, I still want to send a priest to a cult. Engineers probably do too. Engineers don't really have anything else to do here unless they're just going to build another temple. They take the last air spot. I think that's quite good for us. That makes it really hard for Giants to pass us, actually. I think engineers are pretty close to passing. I think Giants are probably pretty close to passing. Sending a priest to a cult track, though, is just 2 coins. It's very tempting. It kind of sucks. Well, if engineers pass, we can always get their tile. Swarmlings really can't pass until they use their free action. Although they're going to get to use their free action right now, aren't they? So if Swarmlings do use... Wow. My God, Giants are crazy. Giants are taking Earth 3 with another temple. I guess this is how you win cults, folks. You take 3 step favors. For the answer, this is not how you win cults. I mean, this is going to go so poorly for Giants. I'm just going to take the 8 victory point towns now and just crush cults while he spent way too much effort in inefficient ways this game. But, oh well. Chat's been quiet. Is the game that boring? Nothing to say anymore. It's understandable if that's the case. Swarmlings don't build their trading post. Swarmlings are going to take one of our 8-point towns. I just realized that. Swarmlings are definitely taking an 8-point town. But with Swarmlings not really being a threat to pass here, I can send a priest to a cult track, and I'll send it to water. Now I'm willing to pass. I'll convert a priest to a worker, and I'll just pass for... I'll pass for big building, probably. I mean, I guess I'm going to guaranteedly advance ship. If ship tile gets me the... If ship tile gets me a coin's power action, I'll definitely take it. The big building tile is just kind of tempting because I think it's more annoying to our opponents to not have... Well, actually, our other opponents like the shipping tile. I don't know. I'm assuming Giants pass, though. And I think Giants will take the big building tile because I think they're going to want to build a sanctuary to threaten more silly cult favors. The only other upshot to Giants attacking the cults so hard is that Giants totally had an opportunity here to attack... Oh, Giants still have their dig action. Giants had a real chance to compete on network if they just pushed it harder and went for some of these red hexes, because I'm not actually pushing network that hard. But now Giants just put all their effort into fighting cults that I'm basically still going to beat them on anyhow. So yeah, we're really big fans of what they just did. I can Sanctuary for Fire 2 at the start of next round and just scoop up both 8-point towns if they're there. Although, again, Swarmlings are going to take an 8-point town, right? So I can scoop up an 8-pointer and an 11-pointer or something. I don't know. We'll see. I feel, despite having like no points here, I still feel okay. The big concern is that Swarmlings, I think, just have too many direct points, and they still are doing pretty well on cults. And I think Swarmlings are still going to do pretty well on network, because Swarmlings are going to go here and have actual network aspirations. Giants are wisely going down here, so they are going to Giants are going to thread a network too. So this game is definitely a two-person race. Oh yeah, I mean, these players are so out of it. I mean, they're so far. I mean, we basically knew from the start that it was going to be a two-person race, and yeah, it's just looking nutty. Swarmlings do take an 8-point town. That was very predicted. We want to pass now because everywhere there's threats on the pass tiles. And we might be able to lock Swarmlings out of a pass tile if the passes go in the right order. So if we pass for the ship tile, Engineers hopefully pass for the big building tile, Giants pass for the dwelling tile. Actually, who cares if they pass for the dwelling tile? I just need Engineers to pass. I think Engineers will pass. So if Engineers are going to pass, we are happy with either tile. I think we're going to go to ship 3 this game just because it's efficient and because in order to get our other dwelling out, our free hexes involve shipping. The shipping tile, we're 1 power short of getting the coins action, and I just don't see any leech coming our way, which is unfortunate because I would love that coins power action, obviously. But it might still be better just to take this because it is 1 more point. And it at least gives us some outside chance to get into coins power action if we get a leech from somewhere that I have no idea how, to be honest. But it's probably correct to at least give ourselves an outside shot at just being stupidly lucky. We do have, again, the huge issue in points. Simon is still passing for 12 more points, so they're going to be at 96 to our 49. Do we really make up 50 points on them in the end game? I mean, they don't make any points from the final round, and if they get blocked from a pass tile, I think the answer is we might have a shot. But we really need Engineers to take the big building tile here. I don't see why Engineers wouldn't take it. It's like so good for them. They have a sanctuary. They're going to build a stronghold next round, and they do pass. I think it has to be big building tile. They seem to have understood to take pass tiles this game, but this is kind of a big moment here. Okay, they do pass. So I do think Simon's getting blocked on pass tiles, which is very important for us. I think that gives us an actual shot to win. Because Simon's going to get up to 96 after the pass, and they're going to get, 100, 103, 106, maybe some ship advances. They'll be at like 115, but they might be limited to like 115. And then 115 plus some cults is mid 130s, maybe up into the 140s. But I think we're still on track to maybe get there. Had a chance if it get it past him, but it was a bit too greedy. Yeah, I think him going for the town is actually what ruined him. I don't think he was supposed to build this dwelling this round. I think he was supposed to just upgrade to a trading post and then leave this hex for next round. But yeah, him getting blocked on pastel is huge for us. So that was really good. I think he still might win. We have 4, 5, 6... 11, 23, 32, 40, 51 more points coming directly, so we're at 100-ish. And then call it about 20 on the Cults is 120, and we should win network. We're also like right at that 140-ish level, upper 130s, maybe 140. So I think that means we're very close to Simon, and Simon might just be ahead of us based on the Hordling's philosophy of having a shit ton of resource points at the end. But we'll see. I'm going to build Sanctuary here. I'm taking Fire 2. I'm going to wind up just taking the 8-point town. Simon's going to decline us. There's no reason for him to accept our leech. I mean, we're going to get declined a lot in this final round. There's not much reason for people to accept our power. I could still skip Fire 2, but I don't think it makes a lot of sense. I might wind up building a trading post this round just so I can build 2 dwellings, which is probably likely. I mean, I do at least produce 17 more coins, so I mean, I'm at 20 coins. I would love to take the coins power action because I need 16 coins just to build this stuff, and that's already 20 coins blown away. But we'll at least have some power too. We have a lot of extra workers, so we'll see. This is a really close game. We've played quite well, but Simon's also played quite well, and we've had people decline us a lot, which isn't entirely shocking. We definitely cost ourselves here because I think engineers would have accepted us. It's possible that not starting down in here was a mistake. It's possible that starting here was a mistake too. We probably would have still been able to get our connection hex because Giants didn't like aggressively go for this. And I'm not sure Simon would have double dug us early, but part of the reason I was scared of not going here is because if I was in Simon's shoes as Swarmlings and I knew this was Cultists like pretty much only / main route of connection, I would have been very tempted to just double dig it early, knowing that my only real opponent this game was Cultists. So I don't know. Simon doesn't know if he should build a temple here. Yeah, I don't think he should build a temple here. It's only 4 points, whereas he's getting 3 points more by just having the trading post up. So I don't know. We don't have enough to take the coins. It's gonna yell at me if I try, but I have to try. But admittedly, it's not gonna let me. So I just Sanctuary for Fire 2 then. Bloop. Simon is going to decline us. I don't even know why he's thinking. And he does. We take a Fire 2. We're about to take an 8-pointer. The 8-pointer is going to give us 4 power. That's too much. All right. 73 points looks a hell of a lot better. I like that number. That was a big turn there. I don't really think Giants can actually do anything on air track. We have 1 extra priest, so I guess it should just go to the fire track, although sending it to Earth here is not wild. Templing for Earth 3 is... there's no Earth 3, so what am I even talking about? Whatever. I don't know what's going to happen, but... Engineers get a town. Probably just take a 9-pointer because points are good, and there's not a real benefit to economy here. Giants getting only 1 town this game is quite sad. But I'm curious how Giants are going to finish up some of their cults. Somebody should be sending this priest to water, it looks like. I'm definitely going to if I'm allowed to. I guess saving the priest isn't the worst idea because I might have enough shit that just building advanced digging might be worth it, but it seems unlikely. But the more I think about it, it's not entirely wild. Giants get the coins because engineers didn't take them. Wow, I missed that. I guess engineers don't really need coins either. They have too many. Our opponents did go pretty wild with building up early. Lots of trading posts for a lot of them, whereas we obviously have ran very low trading post game. But Fire 1 coupled with all those cult coins has really enabled us to get away with a lot. So that was good. I don't know. We're still in some position this game, but we really need to get some good cult outcomes, and we need our opponents not to mess with us too hard. So we'll see how that resolves, because this is still pretty messy looking, and it looks like Giants are the sort of player that's probably just going to send a lot of priests off. I guess this is not looking the best either. And sadly, we really just don't have ways to build next engineers, who are probably the only people that would actually accept anything we did. I think we're going to just get lots of declines this round still. Engineers are also actually a very bad player in terms of they just constantly keep 6 power in this bowl. So like I can't even offer them leech currently. They can't accept it. Which meh, little annoying, but oh well. I mean, this is part of what you sign up for when you play Cultist in Arena. You really don't know what your neighbors are going to do and what they're like, and it definitely can mess you up a bit. We're at least getting free power every time we build next to somebody. So, I mean, it's not the worst outcome, but you don't really sign up to play Cultist to get free stuff. So, I'm curious what this is going to be. Might just be Water 2. It could be Earth 2, actually. Earth 2 to just lock out the Earth cult does seem pretty tempting. Yeah, it is. It's going to just be Earth 2. That makes sense. I talked about this priest, but the more I look at stuff, I think I might want to advance dig. I think I might just want to be able to take a single step on water. I think I'm okay if Giants just beat me here. I mean, at the same time, this is like a 2-point priest, right? If I just go 2 steps on water right now, it's guaranteedly locking up these points, whereas if I don't do it, Giants are almost certainly going to, or Engineers will, and it just gets really messy if I don't send this priest off. I assume Giants are going to pass me on Earth now. I think they seem very cult focused, and it seems very likely, but oh well. Engineers might have just messed up there. I'm not sure they realize. I think they might be going for another town. They're also going for connection, which is awesome for them, but they totally needed, I guess they needed this hex, but they needed to take this hex because this is Swarmling's connection hex, right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, Swarmlings could use this. But I think Swarmlings are going to wind up just digging them out and build. Well, Swarmlings don't have a lot to do. Yeah, they have so much power. Swarmlings presumably are trying to play for connection, but maybe not. I forgot that Swarmlings are going to get network points, though, and I haven't added those in. And so that's going to cause problems. Sorry, I also maybe should accept this. It depends on how much I think I can actually get out of it. I tend to lean toward accepting Leech late, even when I probably shouldn't. So this is where, if I was really serious, I would really study that. But I think it might be wrong, so I'll just let it go. Simon probably should be connecting this game, but he's advancing ship probably so he can take the priest power action on the wheel. But I'm going to advance ship, and I actually think I'll take the priest on the wheel if I can. Engineers are going to build this hex, though. So, like, this hex is also now Simon's connection. So, do we have enough workers to justify hard digging this hex? Because if we cut Simon off, Simon gets no network. Although now, actually, Simon gets no network anyhow, right? What am I talking about? Giants, Engineers, and us have all connected. So there's no way. But Engineers are going to win network on us now, aren't they? Those little buggers. Engineers have one more hex, clearly. And then, actually, they have another hex, too. So we're actually going to lose network to Engineers because we were sloppy. Yeah, that looks to be the case. We have slight problems with winning network. We need to build these 2 dwellings. And then we might have to build another trading post we don't want to just to compete on network. Yeah, this endgame's not quite breaking down how I wanted it to. Because Engineers are definitely building 2 more dwellings. And Simon does just collect the priest to be able to advance ship again. Well, regardless, I have to build this. So, I still really want to. I mean, I have to build the stronghold. I think it's just too many points. Ooh, Giants did accept Giants accepting is shocking to me. We may as well move up Earth and discourage them from attacking us on Earth, although they might just try to take air. I never expected Giants to accept that. I guess really discouraging them on air makes more sense. I was already thinking they were going to move past us on Earth. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather watch them pass us on Earth than pass us on air. So I'll discourage them from going up air. Swarmlings also had 0 shipping. Yeah, I realized that too late, that Swarmlings couldn't get here. But Swarmlings don't even need to fight for network now that Engineer's connected. Although I guess if Swarmlings had shipping, they would have taken this Hex in order to cut Engineers off and get network points. But meh, I don't know. Whatever. Things are happening. Giants have also made it to 12 network. They have a dwelling, but it's not easy for them to get out. So I think if we get to 13 network, we're okay. But we might want to push to 14 network to tie Engineers. So we'll see. Regardless, building this dwelling. Oh, we don't have a dwelling. Well, that's a problem. We definitely need to get a dwelling freed up. So, Giants just accepted a free power. So, actually, this is our only neighbor anyhow, so we don't have a choice. So I guess I should stop acting like I do. If Giants accept, I guess I can go up the Earth track. So yeah, sure. We'll see. I'm very surprised they accepted last time. And yeah, they do decline this time, so that kind of makes more sense. It does look like I'm eking out things, but yeah, I guess I leave myself free power here is pretty good. I really need to build that other dwelling, and if Giants somehow hard dig this Hex, it's pretty sad. I do have the ability to hard dig still too, though, but oh yeah, Engineers had a Hex here too. Engineers still have another Hex. Engineers, I guess, actually could build Temple. Engineers could build Temple, Trading Post, Dwelling, but they also could just build Stronghold, and the Stronghold is 9 points. So I'd like to think they're going to just build Stronghold rather than push their network even farther. But if we go to network 13, to go to network 14 involves us building another trading post and then hard digging another dwelling, at which point I don't know if we get the Stronghold out, so it's probably not worth it. But yeah, us not fully winning network is probably game losing. I think Swarmlings still have just too many direct points, and we didn't quite make enough direct points this game. But I also don't know that for absolute certainty. Giants are fighting Swarmlings on fire, it looks like, which is actually an incredibly good outcome for us. Giants fighting Swarmlings is absolutely ideal. That's really what we want to see. Swarmlings do just go ahead and advance ship. They do also have... They're also sitting on like 7 points of resources, though, that I wasn't really giving them in my earlier, like, back of the napkin math, so could be a problem. But we at least get this Hex, which is important to our goals as well, so gotta do that. 13 network is at least 12 points, but not being 18 is a problem. Giants, if they want to, can single dig plus 3 workers to build another dwelling to tie us on network. Given they took water 1, you'd like to see them just build trading posts, but I guess they also have this tile, so they might just pump out the last dwelling. I'm not... Oh, actually, they still have this Hex. Ugh. Giants are definitely going to build another dwelling, which means we probably should push network. We're also getting declines again, which, again, not surprising, but it's disappointing. Getting a leech here would be pretty sweet, but I want to build this thing, and then I would like to build this thing and this thing. This is 4 workers, 5, 6, 10 workers to get this out, and it's 11... It's 13 coins. I mean, We have the 10 workers, but we're only at 10 coins. We need 3 more coins. I don't see us getting that. Engineers are going for the temple, which means they're not going for the stronghold. They are going to build temple, trading post, and another dwelling just to absolutely crush network at 15. Which means that we definitely just let them. I have no idea what favor tile they're taking here. I guess they could finally take Earth 2 is probably the most sensible, and that is what they take. So that's a bummer too, because now we're going to lose a bunch of points on Earth. Yeah. Oh well. We had a good game, but do you value 3 coins higher than 3 points here? Because if not, it seems like Air 1 was better than Fire 2. So not taking Fire 2 means how do I build this town though, right? If I don't take Fire 2, I have to expensive trading post. But I get what you're saying. I could take 3 coins. I could spend 3 coins to expensive trading post. Part of why I liked Fire 2 is the tempo on getting my towns. I got to pick my favorites, but maybe that wasn't important. Simon turned yellow to red down here. Simon is giving giants a dwelling in order to beat us. God, that's so dirty, but I mean, it's the right play. Well done on Simon. That sucks. I didn't think about that either. Giving giants a hex is absolutely the right play, but God, it's freaking miserable for us. Oh, well done for Simon. That's the right play. Good job catching it. Yeah, that's rough. Fire 2 also came with 3 power. Yeah, I mean, I needed power still. I mean, I'm just eking out the end game that I really wanted. My game's pretty good, but it's just not quite enough. Simon's definitely going to win. We got so many declines this game that I don't think made a lot of sense. We didn't quite get... We got a little less power than I was expecting in terms of neighbors. But I guess I don't know why I should have expected more neighbors, really, where I'm at. So, meh. Although, actually, I did expect somebody to be up here a hell of a lot sooner this game. Giants not making it up over here was a bit of a surprise, but that didn't really make that much of a difference to our game. So, yeah. I definitely don't have enough to do this trading post plus this dwelling. So, I mean, yeah, our network points are just awful, partly because giants are getting that hex. I could debate building a temple here because I can take Earth 2. That probably is the right play. Building a temple for Earth 2 here is fine for us. It's ugly, but currently we're going to... I mean, both engineers and giants are going to pass us on Earth. Well, no, engineers are going to stay tied with us, but giants are going to pass us. But if we take Earth 2, I think we go from 1 cult point to 4, so it's a 3-point temple. I mean, that means it's barely worth it, but... Annoyingly, Simon was allowed to 5-power priest here too. Giants never sent another priest off. I mean, hopefully Giants are going to fight them again, but I don't know if that's the case. I don't have enough stuff to do the temple and dwelling that I really would like to, or trading post and dwelling. I can't quite build trading post plus dwelling. It's just not in the cards. And now Simon outright telling Giants what cult track to go up is a little skeevy. I don't really like when players do that. And it's a little negotiation-y, but whatever. It doesn't matter that much. I mean, Giants are going to pick what track to go up regardless. We're going to discourage them from going up Earth track. We're just going to temple for Earth 2. Is there an Earth 2 available? Do we have Earth 2? No, both of those things work out. We just throw away our resources on this because what else are we doing? Giants accepting this would actually be quite nice, but I'm pretty confident they'll decline. And indeed, they do. But if they had accepted, we could have contested. We could have actually contested swarm lanes, which would have been fun, or tied swarm lanes on the track. But Oh, well. Take water 3 to tie water. So water 3 is actually, I guess, totally a valid idea too, but that's going from 4 points to 6. I mean, I guess it's a 4-point swing on Swarmlings, but Swarmlings also have the ability to go for another temple if they want, and it would also be a 4-point temple for them at that point, right? Well, I guess they lose a free dwelling, but I think they would go for it. I don't know. I think it's too messy to try to fight Swarmlings. I think Swarmlings would just respond to us somehow. They have the ability to respond to us, whereas I think this discourages anything here. I think this basically guarantees instead of 1 point, I'm at 4 points. So I think it's the right call, but yeah. Ultimately, we had a good game. Simon just had an even better game and made the right moves. He played boring 7-struction Swarmlings to perfection, basically. Did the right things, so I thought connecting would be impossible. Yeah, I mean, Amador connecting was quite good. He does actually have more points than I expected him to this game. I mean, I don't think he's actually competing for the win or anything, but this power does us nothing. We need to pass. We have what looks to be 24 cult points and 9 network points. That gives us 33. We're going to have a 134. 134 is a good game, but the problem is Simon has 112, 116, 124, 132 plus resources. Wow, so he doesn't actually beat us by much, but his resources does take him up to about 140. So he's beat us by 4 or 5 points. We needed Giants to choose to fight him over here. Yeah, if Giants had decided to fight him a bit better on fire, that might have been enough of a break. I don't know. We got a decent number of breaks this game. We just got declined a lot. Simon only beats us by 2. That's much closer than I thought. If Giants just do beat him on fire, we win the game potentially. So yeah, that's a bit sad that it was this close, but only lose 1 point at least in the overall swing of things. But yeah, that's tough. We didn't even engineers were a lot closer by the end than I thought actually too. Their game was very wacky at a lot of points, but surprised they were that competitive. Power wise, we kind of did a split of all the power actions besides double dig. Engineers double dug a lot in order to hit 15 network this game, but power gained via structures. We did get a decent budget of leech, but both giants and engineers really got a lot, which isn't very shocking. We hit the round tiles quite well. Swarmlings did not. We already knew that was going to be a factor. Only Earth 1 is of point favors a bit rough. Engineers did actually very well with all their favor tiles. We hit bonus cards about as well as anybody else. I guess Swarmling's bonus card game actually was a lot rougher than I thought. Maybe they were even better than I thought here. Although us getting declined a lot was a bit harder than I thought. But this maybe just wasn't that great of a cultist setup because I kind of knew I wasn't going to have neighbors. And or maybe it was just a mistake not to be down here because this at least would have given me a lot more cult steps. I don't think engineers would have declined me so hard. I just don't know about connection then, though, because I think Swarmlings just cut off my connection, so... Anyhow, anyone in chat thoughts on how they would approach bidding for this game? So, the part of the question is, are you currently in this game? I'm gonna hope you're not currently in a game because I don't usually try to give advice on people, but now it's over. You watch Deep Finesse play it. Interesting. So this setup is a bit interesting because mermaids and Orin kind of fight, nomads and halflings kind of fight. Late towns though are really interesting. Mid game trading posts can be pretty good. On this map, I'm probably still just want mermaids pretty badly this game. As mermaids, I hope to get some cult digs. I hope to send some priests to the cults. I leverage a lot of late coins. I can just build my towns in the town round because I can have them all set up. I can hit 3 towns pretty easy on this map. I don't love Orin on this map because they can't ship very fast, so they don't usually contest key like spaces very well. Oh, there's temp ships. That's at least a good news for Orin. But I probably bid mermaids quite a lot. By quite a lot, I mean like 15-ish points. I don't really love halflings much here, so I'd probably put them as the 30 faction. I'd probably bid 5-ish points on Orin and nomads is my loose thought. I'd have to think about starting spots and everything else a bit more, but that's loosely how I would feel. But why is witches so much better than mermaids? Witches is not that much better than mermaids. Yeah, so witches are significantly better than Orin. The reason witches are so much better than Orin on the map is because the stronghold allows you to contest some really useful spots. So as witches, I tend to start center, but then this green is really important to connect you out to all of this stuff. But reaching this green as Orin is really tough because you got to get to 2 shipping. And with mermaids in the game, they can threaten this very early. So Orin, as witches, you have the ability to kind of go for a stronghold start and secure this hex, and then you have more expansion potential, and you can fly everywhere. You don't have to invest in shipping until late. And in the sort of game that was linked here by Jones, part of why I would really prefer witches is because, as I said in this game, you get so many coins from this event, it can sometimes be hard to leverage them all, but one of the best ways to leverage them all is to finally do all your ship upgrades. And that's usually what I would do with witches on this map. So if this was witches, I see a lot better game plan for witches where I'm going to build some early dwellings. I'll build a stronghold in round 2. I'll hope to secure this hex. If I don't, I still have other stuff going for me probably. Now, to be fair, a lot of mermaids players I've been in on Arena seem to think that this hex is particularly important for them for some reason in this matchup, and I don't think it is. But so you have to, I don't know, it's a little hard sometimes to read your opponents. But, and then yes, so Gray is also correct. The Orange Stronghold isn't quite as exciting to me because sending priest to cults is quite good here. It's often hard to open Temple into Stronghold round 2, though, for Orin. There's no big building pass tile for Orin, so a lot of that doesn't make me super excited to play Orin. Late Temple or late towns is also rough for Orin because you usually want to build an early town as Orin so that you actually have keys, so you can have the 2 key towns so that you can actually close out cults. Whereas witches, I'm often willing to delay all my towns till late. So for all of those reasons, I think Orin are quite a downgrade from witches, just not only in general on this map, but also in that particular game linked. So a 2-point loss to Simon. Someday we're going to get Simon's number and we'll beat him, but until such a day, he's been playing well. To be fair, it looks like he might have been right to just bid Swarmlings. We paid a lot for Cultists, and we had a good Cultist game, but it wasn't that great. I mean, we did not earn that many more victory points than he did, and he did admittedly actually get blocked in a decent number of ways from stuff he could have done that got him even more points. He probably should have been able to have the 2 key town, and then he would have been even more annoying on the cults to us. Only 18 on the pass cards actually is pretty bad for Swarmlings, because in a good Swarmlings game, you sometimes, if he just gets, the big building tile earlier and he hits the other stuff earlier, although he did give up on 4 points in round 1, so maybe it can't go that much better for him, to be fair, because these are 3 pass tiles that he hit. And he willingly gave up 1 round 1, and then in the final round, he kind of just was out of position. But I don't know. I mean, it could have gone better for us though too. If things had just broken luckier for us, we could have got the ship tile into the dwelling tile into the ship tile again or something. We could have got the spade tile maybe a bit more often or something. I don't know. Hard to say, but oh well. Anyhow. Glad that you enjoyed the stream, Jones. This was another fun one. I'm glad I got to play Cultist on stream at least. This is kind of how I think Cultist should be played on this map, where you're kind of shipping around early in order to get dwellings and stuff. I think that is a strong way to play them, but this game turned a bit harder than I thought it was going to be, because we kind of got more declines early than I thought. And then I probably do need to leverage this area of the board still. Maybe I was supposed to push for this town. If I decided to push for this town, I maybe can build a stronghold as part of this town, and maybe I do eke out another town, plus I get more accepts at the end, and more accepts maybe get me some stuff. It's hard to say, though. It was a bit hard for us to really get rolling and snowballing in this game. We did build a lot of stuff that doesn't have neighbors, though. That's always kind of questionable as Cultists, so. Yeah, I don't know. Oh well. Why not start south next to gray? So I'm guessing that you did miss the initial discussions, but the big reason of not starting here is that if you still start here, this is your connection hex, and it's really tough to get here early. If I don't start on this hex, Swarmlings have an option to just double dig it. Giants would have had an option to dig this hex and then this hex and get to this red. And if you get cut up north from connection, your only other connection path tends to be like digging through all of this stuff and making it around. And I really wasn't willing to give up connection so easily in a game where I figured Swarmlings were going to go low structure. So I usually like to start here as Cultist on this map, because I think you get cut off too easily otherwise, and you usually can just ship fast enough. Plus, the other big advantage to being on this hex is once you have ship 2, from this hex, you can dig here and reach all of these dwellings. And I think that's just can be some really strong expansion opportunities, whereas if you start here, you just have to dig every hex, and you don't get anywhere very fast. So I don't know. I really loved the opportunities this hex provides, but this hex, admittedly, this game would have provided some really nice leech from engineers building next to us, and it would have provided a much more willing partner to accept our leeches. But I just don't know. I think we potentially get beat to this hex, and then I just don't know if we ever connect, and I don't know if we have a way to win this game without connection. So Do I need connection? You win versus Swarmlings anyhow. I don't actually win versus Swarmlings anyhow. That's part of the problem. So if I'm not on this hex, if I build, like, in the east, I really do want to build a town and probably this. And so if I'm throwing 5 structures over here, and now Swarmlings connect and go for 8 structures, do I actually beat Swarmlings? It's not actually a guarantee that you beat Swarmlings if you don't start over there. It gets really dangerous because Swarmlings have these outside opportunities to connect. I mean, Swarmlings have the option to go for 3 town game plans and higher network. Like, it's an option for them. They don't have to play low network. So it can be good. I mean, to be fair, I think sometimes starting here is good. And I think sometimes you can fairly reliably get to this hex early enough. If it's mermaids here, I'm significantly less worried. To be honest, part of why I was so worried this game too is because I think both Simon and I basically thought this game came down to the two of us competing for against each other. And so if I'm Simon and I'm Swarmlings and I'm in the center, paying a little extra to dig early just doesn't actually slow Swarmlings down very much, and it's so painful for me. So if I was Swarmlings and I knew my only real competitor was Cultists, I'm going to just cut their connection off pretty early before it's even like at all reasonable. Normally. Whereas if it's mermaids, it's a lot more painful to double dig this hex. So like if I was playing this exact same matchup with mermaids, I probably would start here as Cultists. But it's hard to say. But whatever. I did my stuff. I played a game. Thanks all for watching. It's been a fun stream. I am going to head off. I am probably going to go play some Agricola with friends and stuff. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to stream another game before the Fire2 Open game tomorrow. So that could be fun. I will hopefully start climbing the rankings again. And maybe if I play an early morning game, I won't run into my only recent nemesis, Simon, who just apparently has our number. Pretty sure Simon has just been beating up on us. Oh, Simon's been playing a lot of games, actually. But Simon has been beating up on us. Yeah. But, oh well, that happens. Can't win them all. But yeah, so anyhow, I might stream another game tomorrow morning. Thanks all for the chat and everything. It's been a fun game again. It's always fun talking and seeing what others are out there, and it seems like people are enjoying this. So, but yeah, I'm gonna head off. See y'all around.